You take me home and give me wings to fly. We can be alone in a castle in the sky. We can run away and leave this world behind. Please just take me home.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Storybook Crochet. In today's video I am going to be showing you how to create my adorable peas and carrots crochet pattern. This is the perfect project to make for your best friend. Whether you are a beginner or a seasoned crocheter, this is a fun and easy pattern that will add a little extra love to your friendship. So grab your yarn and hook and let's get started making these sweet, adorable little buddies that are bound to bring a smile to anyone's face. For your project today, you are going to need 3 different colors of worsted yarn. I'm using kind of a medium green for the pea, as you can see here. And then for the carrot, you're going to need an orange and a little bit maybe brighter green for the leaves at the top of the carrot. You're going to need 12mm safety eyes for both of them, so you'll need a total of 4. I am using a 3.5mm or a USE hook. You're going to need scissors, a yarn needle, stitch marker, and then you're going to have to grab some fiber fill to stuff your projects with. So let's grab all of those supplies and we'll get started. Alright, we are going to start with our pea first. So we're going to be using our green yarn, and we're going to start by making a magic ring. And to do this, I wrap this around 3 fingers. So take your yarn and lay it over your fingers. Wrap around, crossing over the top. Then you're going to go underneath both, grab the top piece of yarn there, and pull up your loop. Then I just hold that on the hook, remove that from my fingers, and chain 1. And that will secure your ring. Once you have that done, you're going to make 6 single crochets in the ring. Alright, once you have your 6 single crochets made, you're just going to take that tail and pull on it, and that will close that opening. And that will complete round 1, which will be our 6 single crochets. So for round 2, we're going to increase around, meaning we're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So you'll just go into that first single crochet that you made, and you're going to make 2 single crochets in that stitch. So there's our first one, and then you'll go into the same stitch there and make your second one. Okay, and you're just going to repeat that around, so 2 single crochets or an increase in each stitch, and this is going to give you 12 single crochets at the end of round number 2. Alright, moving on to round 3, we're going to start by making 1 single crochet in the first stitch there, and then you're going to increase in the second stitch. And then you'll simply just repeat that pattern around, so 1 single crochet and then increase, repeating that a total of 6 times for round 3, and this is going to give you 18 single crochets at the end of this round. Alright, round 4 is going to be our last increase round, so we're going to start by making 2 single crochets, so 1 in each of the first 2 stitches. And then you're going to increase in the third stitch. So you'll just repeat that around a total of 6 times, and this is going to give you 24 single crochets at the end of round number 4. Alright, for the next 4 rounds, rounds 5 through 8, we're just going to single crochet around. So that means you're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch. So all 4 rounds will end with 24 single crochets. So go ahead and finish through round 8, and then we'll meet back and put the eyes onto our pea. Alright, now that we have finished through round 8, we're going to go ahead and place the eyes. So you're going to want to grab your 12mm safety eyes, and we're going to do it between rounds 6 and 7. So you're just going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and between these 2 rounds you're going to place your eyes. So go ahead and place your first one, and then I go over a few stitches here and place the second. All right, so there's about 2 stitches between the 2 of those eyes. So then go ahead and place the backs on. All right, and then I like to line my eyes with some white yarn, so that's optional if you don't want to do that, but I think it adds a little bit of character to them. So I go ahead and grab my yarn needle here, and then I just come up through the inside to the top of one of the eyes here, and then I just go about 3/4 of the way down the side. Okay, like that, and then you'll just repeat that with the second eye. All right, and then just kind of pull on those to make sure they're good and secure on there, and then I just tie them off in the middle, and then you can just stuff the ends in the middle or you can cut them if you prefer that way. So go ahead and do that, and then we'll finish off the P. All right, so now we're moving on to round number 9, and we're going to start our decrease rounds. So we're going to start by making 2 single crochets in the first 2 stitches. So 1 and 2, and then we're going to decrease over the next 2 stitches. So to do this, I use the front loops only. So instead of going under both like normal, you're just going to go between them, only going under that front loop. Then you're going to grab your yarn and pull that through, and then you're going to repeat that in the second stitch. So just go under that front loop, grab your yarn and pull that through. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. So we just turn those 2 stitches into 1. So you're just going to repeat that around. So 2 single crochets and then decrease. All right, for round 10, we're going to start with 1 single crochet in the first stitch and then decrease over the next 2 stitches. And just repeat that around, and that will give you a total of 12 single crochets at the end of this round. All right, so before we finish our last round, you're going to want to grab your fiber fill and go ahead and stuff that. Make sure you stuff it pretty firmly. You can always add more before you completely close. All right, so round 11 is going to be our last round, and we're just going to make decreases around. You're going to make a total of 6 decreases. So just go ahead and decrease over the first 2 stitches and just continue to do that around, a total of 6 times, and this will leave you with 6 stitches at the end. And then I'll show you how to close it off, and then we'll be finished with our P. All right, after you've made your last stitch, you're going to go ahead and slip stitch to the next stitch, or the first stitch of the round, and then pull a little bit of a tail out and cut that. Okay, then you're going to pull the tail through your loop here to close that off. Then you're going to want to grab your yarn needle and then what I do is I come up through the next stitch and out through the next one after that. And you're just going to repeat that around, pulling it tight as you go. And that will just cinch that opening closed. And then you can just go through a few stitches just to make it look a little bit nicer. And once you have that done, you can just weave it through the body of the little P here to go ahead and weave that in so it doesn't come undone. All right, once you have that done, just snip that tail off, and our little P friend is done here. So next we're going to go ahead and make our carrot. So you'll want to grab your orange yarn and your darker green yarn for that. All right, so starting with our orange yarn, we're going to do the same thing to start as we did with the P, and go ahead and make your magic ring. And then for round 1, we're again making 6 single crochets in our ring. once you have those 6 made, go ahead and pull on that tail to close that opening. All right, and that completes round 1 with 6 total single crochets. So for round 2, we're going to start off by making 1 single crochet in the first stitch, and then you're going to increase in the second stitch. And you're going to repeat that a total of 3 times, and this is going to give you 9 single crochets at the end of round number 2. All right, for round number 3, we're going to start off by making 1 single crochet in the first stitch, and then we're going to increase in the second stitch. After that, we're going to switch and do 2 single crochets. All right, after your 2, you're going to go ahead and increase. And then you're going to repeat that one more time by making 2 single crochets. And then we're going to increase in the next stitch. And then in our last stitch, we're just going to make 1 single crochet. So by doing this, we're staggering our increases, so it makes more of a round shape. All right, so for round 4, we're going to start by making 3 single crochets. All right, after you make your 3, you will increase, and then you're just going to repeat that 2 more times, so 3 single crochets and increase. For round 5, we're going to start by making 2 single crochets. And then you're going to increase in the third stitch, and then we're going to switch and make 4 single crochets next. All right, after your 4, you're going to increase. Then you're going to repeat that one more time. So 4 single crochets and increase. All right, after your increase, you'll have 2 stitches left. You're just going to single crochet 1 in each of those last 2. All right, moving on to round 6, we're going to do 5 single crochets and increase. And you'll repeat that a total of 3 times, so 5 single crochets, and then increase in that 6th stitch. So repeat that 3 times, and then we'll move on to round number 7. All right, for round number 7, we're going to start by making 3 single crochets. And then increase. And then after this, you're going to switch and make 6 single crochets and increase, and you're going to do that twice. At the end of this round, you'll have 3 stitches left. After your last increase, you're just going to put 1 single crochet in each of those last 3 stitches. For round 8, we're going to make 7 single crochets and then increase around. So again, that's 7 single crochets and then increase in the 8th stitch. Repeat that a total of 3 times. All right, so round number 9 is going to be our last increase round. We're going to start out by making 4 single crochets. After you make your 4, you're going to make an increase. And then you're going to switch and do 8 single crochets and increase. You'll do this 2 times. After you make those 2 sets of 8 and increase, you're going to have 4 stitches left, and you're just going to put 1 single crochet in each of those last 4 stitches. All right, moving on, rounds 10 through 12, we're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. This will give you a total of 30 single crochets at the end of each of these rounds. So go ahead and finish off through round number 12, and then we'll meet back and start on round 13. Alright, moving on to round 13, we're going to start by making 2 single crochets. After your 2 are made, you're going to make a decrease. Then we're going to switch to making 4 single crochets and decrease. And you're going to do this a total of 4 times. So after your last increase is made, you'll have 2 stitches left at the end of the round. You're just going to put 1 single crochet in each of those last 2 stitches. Alright, at this point we're going to go ahead and add our safety eyes. So I'm using the same size as I did for my little pea. So we're going to put these between rounds 9 and 10. So you're just going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So in between these 2 rounds, with about the same amount of space between the eyes as we did with the pea. Alright, once you have that placement done, go ahead and just put the backs on. Then you'll just grab your white yarn and go ahead and line it just like you did with the pea. Alright, so moving on to round number 14, we're going to make 3 single crochets. And then decrease. And you're just going to repeat that around, so 3 single crochets and decrease a total of 5 times. Alright, before we finish our last round, you're going to want to go ahead and start stuffing the carrot here. You're going to add more at the very end, but let's go ahead and fill the main part here as firmly as you can. Alright, so for our very last round, we're just going to decrease a round. So you'll make 10 total decreases for this round, and that will leave you with 10 stitches at the very end. So go ahead and make your decreases all the way around, and then I'll show you how we're going to close this off, and then we're going to make the little leaves for the top of the carrot. Alright, so let's go ahead and slip stitch to the next stitch there to close that off. And then you're just going to weave it back and forth through the stitches like you did before, making sure you add more fiber fill before you do that. And then just make sure you weave in your tail just like you did with the pea. Alright, so for our leaves, I'm going to use a darker green than I did with the pea for the top of the carrot here. So we're going to start out again by making a magic ring. And this time in our magic ring, we're going to make 7 single crochets. Okay, so once those 7 are made, just go ahead and pull on that tail to close that opening. For rounds 2 and 3, you're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So each of those rounds will also be 7 single crochets. Alright, moving on to round number 4, we're going to start with a decrease. So just make a decrease over the first 2 stitches. Okay, once that's done, you're going to make 5 single crochets. And for our last round, which is round 5, we're going to again start with a decrease. And then you're going to make 4 single crochets. Alright, once you have your last stitch made, you're just going to slip stitch to the next stitch, and then we'll just finish that off. You're going to want to cut a little bit longer of a tail as we're going to use this to sew it onto the top. Alright, so at this point you're going to want to make 2 more of those, so you have 3 total, and then I'll show you how to sew them to the top of our carrot. Alright, so our last step is going to be to sew the leaves on top of the carrot. So you're just going to kind of sew them around the center round here, or the last round we made. So you're just going to simply find your placement and then grab a stitch on the carrot and then come up through the next stitch on the leaf here. And you're going to do that all the way around. And then once you get that completed, you're just going to weave in your end a few times through the green part here. So go ahead and sew those on, and then your carrot is finished. Thanks so much for crocheting with me today. I hope you had as much fun making these cute little peas and carrots as I did. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more fun crochet tutorials. And if you make your own, I'd love to see it. Tag me on social media. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Until next time, happy crocheting and take care of each other.
Won't you take me home?